We'll be back from the break. You're still watching Smart Means Business. It's 26 minutes to the top of the hour. Manju Barije, and of course we're still proceeding with our business insight in here. And the discussion is really largely relying on the public-private partnerships. Of course, we know that government is very key when it comes to creating a conducive environment for the private sector to operate within a given country or any other region. Well, now with me, I'm joined with Matthew Kasuja. He's into, of course, construction works related, and of course, he's going to be taking us further when it comes to the public and private sector. Him being a stakeholder, of course, taking a look at the private sector. Matthew Kasuja, welcome on the show. A very good morning, and how are you this morning?
Fine, my brother. Thank you for hosting.
Yes. All right. Now, taking a look at the private sector, you being a stakeholder in that, if we take a look at the previous years, or we can stretch it back to the last 10 years, how have you seen the state of the private sector in our country, Uganda?
Well, I must say government has helped. In with these public-private partnerships. Indeed, companies like the medium and
small enterprises
have benefited through these public-private partnerships. You can take an example of a company like Umeme. These companies come with they come, and then as they are executing works given to them by the government, they don't work alone.
Of course.
They work usually with some local maybe media
some other
enterprises.
Development partners.
Yes. And then in so doing, you will find there is a skills transfer to our medium enterprises. There is innovation. Companies become innovative. Quite a number of benefits, and I really must applaud government for these PPs.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you really think seems to be the ultimate challenge today, currently? Because when I walk around and discuss with the different people, the biggest issue is taxes.
Well, to me, I think it is financing majorly.
Financing.
Yeah, because yes, the opportunities are availed to these companies, especially the local companies. The issue is actually the financing issue is majorly affecting the medium enterprises, small and medium enterprises in the country. So you find government comes up with an opportunity or a project, and then but these local companies, especially the local companies, do not have capacity to acquire financing for such projects.
Yes.
So that to me has been a major taxing. I think hasn't to me, because any other country you can bear.
It's the biggest talk actually. Almost majority of the business people tell you taxes we are operating, but the taxes are heavy, most especially those into manufacturing.
Yeah, but you see, everywhere you will go, you'll find taxes. In fact, I don't think Uganda is as strict as many of these other countries in terms of taxation and enforcement and all that. The major issue is to me, not taxation. Yeah, I think it is financing and maybe some other factors.
Because sometimes the reason is why there is limited financing for some of these. For example, if there is a project and you need money to execute it, the money that you would have spent probably to invest into buying the assets needed to execute that project, you spent on costs. Talking about salaries.
Yeah.
And now the biggest percentage comes on tax. And now we see that with the financial 2023-2024, there have also been taxes that have been imposed, like the income.
Yeah, majorly, especially VAT and
exactly, value added
withholding. But you see, Imagine there is an opportunity, like in the construction sector. There is an opportunity to construct a road of maybe 20 billion.
20 billion.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are very few local companies here with capacity to acquire finance to execute such a project. That's very few, because when you go to these financial institutions, you need a collateral.
That's true.
You need so the processing part. Not really many companies can handle that.
Okay.
So you see what happens is the foreign companies are gonna come, take on the opportunities, and you see the challenge is as they subcontract our local companies here, again they are squeezing them with so maybe that's where the challenges are. Yes, that's what we've experienced.
The terms and conditions for you to get these contracts
to the local companies are not so favorable.
Yes.
Yes. Because you need bid security, you know, and it's not as easy as it's not as easy to the local companies. So the companies that can handle this are the foreign companies, which sometimes, most of the times, they subcontract the local companies, like our medium enterprises, but where the challenge is, they squeeze.
Okay.
You understand? They squeeze. Yes. So, in terms of, for instance, they would need you to do a project of maybe 5 billion, and they squeeze you to almost do it at maybe 2 billion, and you find.
You're doing the project, but you're incurring some other costs.
Yes, so there is such issues in the sector.
Wow.
Yes.
That's very unfavorable. Now, it's the financial year now. We're in the new financial year. What are you, as a stakeholder in the private sector, what are the key priorities that you've put out there? And what specific areas do you feel like government should intervene in this financial year to make sure that your work is made easy in the private sector?
I think government really is called upon to empower these local companies, our local companies, Ugandan local companies, small and medium enterprises, because there are really very many, like in the construction sector, you will find we have engineers in this country who know what to do, who really can perform, but you see, because they lack they lack that sort of empowerment. So government really needs to come out and support the few local enterprises that have come out. We have construction companies here, but even the local content part is not so much enforced, I think, in my opinion.
That is, I would agree with you, but to some extent.
Yes, so you will find a project, money is being released, but it's going out. It's going out to the foreign companies that are winning these projects. It's going back. So give an example of, for instance, the drilling sector in this country, the borehole drilling sector in this country, because our company, KASTHEW Construction, is one of the players in the water drilling sector. But most of the projects are actually going to Indian companies. And assuming government came out and maybe empowered or maybe gave capacity to these local players, it would facilitate somehow growth to our companies, local companies, because we have the skills, apparently. We've hustled our way through, up, because in this country you'll not find institutions training drilling, for instance, but we've hustled through. Yes, but you see, we to some extent we lack that assistance. Because if I needed to acquire, let me say more equipment, it's not as easy to a local company unless if government really comes out and, pushes these local companies, to acquire equipment, especially equipment, and also to make the process of contract, winning contracts easy. Because if you put very many conditions to a local company, of course they will not qualify. And what happens? The project will go to the foreign companies. And what happens? Money is coming and it's going back. It's going out to these foreign companies.
And of course they're expatriating the money back to their countries. But there was a concern here, because I remember the time when the Uganda People's Defense Forces commercial arm, the NEC, came on board to now start taking on projects. And they were saying that local companies don't execute contracts in time. The government is doing its best to give you these contracts, but they say you're inefficient, you don't complete the works in time. How do you justify that statement? Or there are those few stakeholders that make you the stakeholders look like you don't do things right?
You see, my brother, yes, they are right. Not very many companies. This is a growing economy. And in any growing economy, you will find such challenges.
Yes.
Yeah, you will find such challenges because our companies are not. So I think there is training. There is need for training. People need to know exactly what to do when given a project. So if maybe government can come up with such incentives of maybe training these local enterprises on how to perform, how to handle issue, projects and all that. Because at the same, if you keep on giving out projects that would have been given out to locals, and then you keep on giving them to foreign companies in the name of only foreign companies are the ones performing. Still you are missing out on a point, because you are only developing the foreign companies, and some of these companies are not as big.
By the way,
you understand, they are not as big.
I've witnessed that.
Yes. Some come with not really much capital on them. So to me, I would think government needs to put training to our local enterprises, but also try to do much, to see that our local enterprises. You see, if you identify a local player, try to empower them, try to encourage them. But you see, even getting loans is not as easy. It's not very easy. Imagine someone has left university. How are they going to acquire a loan? It's not easy. Yes, there are these youth, I think, youth
loan schemes.
Loan schemes.
Of course, you have to be in groups. Circles. They have those circles that they put the money.
But it's not very easy. Not very easy. And I think also corruption somewhere. I may not have, but I think corruption somewhere also is affecting some of these schemes, and because maybe someone will have to bring in their own relative or friend, or who may not even be maybe qualified, or But I know there are people who are qualified. If you move in these small towns, you move to Jinja, you move to Masaka, Mbarara, you will find organized medium enterprises or small and medium enterprises who really, if given an opportunity, they can grow their enterprises, and as they grow, of course, they are paying taxes. Our company is paying taxes. Our company is a medium enterprises, and we don't feel like we are drained or what. No, this thing happens naturally.
It's normal.
Yeah.
Anyway, very interesting. But finally, the body that is responsible to represent you, members of the private sector, do you think it's doing its best when it comes to representing you towards government and to have further enhanced partnerships?
I think they are trying.
They are trying.
Yes. I keep on seeing this, the director, I think. I think they are trying, but the question comes back is to, do they have the capacity?
They last time during when the appropriator for the integration of Africans in this country, they mentioned, I don't remember the figures exactly, the companies in which they have influenced and they have started to produce goods for export.
Okay.
They mentioned a number of them. I don't remember the actual figure. And in my mind, I was like, this is, maybe they're doing a great work.
Okay.
I don't know.
To me, I think they just have, need to be supported also.
They need partners.
Because, of course, if you do not have enough resources, even if you have the strategies on table, you may fail to enforce them or to put them to practice. If you maybe need to go to Mbarara or to put up a few workshops, or you may fail because of resources. So maybe on that part, I would recommend government to facilitate them more. Okay. Because they are playing a role, really a good role, a big role. Yeah. But also let government come up with strategies to encourage. Some people are starting up with small companies, and in 1 year they will close. Yeah. Because there are a number of factors, that will not allow a company to grow past 1 year or 2 years. And yet our young men in this country have ideas. They have ideas. They are aggressively, starting. Yes, very many engineers in this country. But not easy to get even a subcontract. You understand? Not easy. So,
for instance, like in your sector, the water drilling?
Yeah, for us, KASTHEW Construction handles building construction works and also water drilling. Water drilling is, of course, in the water sector, but also it's engineering. Yeah. But in the water sector, I feel government has not done enough. Okay. Because if I look around in our sector, there are very many struggling companies, Water drilling? Yes. Okay. Not easy to acquire the skill. Okay. Not easy. In this country, there is no institution that is teaching drilling. It's not there. Maybe geology, they are there, but drilling, there is no institution up to now. So our companies are hustling our way through to train, to learn the skill, and as we learn, if government came up and said, this sector, at least let's give 70% of the projects to our local companies or contractors. Let us empower them to acquire equipment. Because we have the skills. As of now, we have the skills. In fact, we are training our colleagues in this country.
So you as KASTHEW Constructions, you're training other people into that construction, into that water drilling?
Yes, because this technology is not, hasn't been in this country. It has just come by the foreign companies.
Wow.
But we can't survive by the foreign companies sustainably.
That's beautiful.
So if government comes up and supports these local companies, I'm telling you here, we are just blessed that we maybe have the equipment. But they are our fellow colleagues who it's not easy for them either to acquire a loan or to, in any way, acquire these equipment. That is now for the water drilling. Okay. Yeah, but if you go to the construction part, imagine government gives out a road, and the foreign companies, majorly because they're the ones
that come to
majorly they are the ones handling the yes. But you see, they are extracting maram from the local
from the
ball pits. Okay. Yeah. They are getting stone base, much of the material that actually is sourced locally.
Okay.
So it is only maybe the bitumen and some other material, of course, will come from outside. But how about if government at least came up with a strategy or a policy to at least say, for instance, in the road sector, let the earthwork at least go to the local companies.
The earthwork.
Because it constitutes to quite a reasonable amount of value.
Of value.
Yes. So if you leave, these foreign companies will sometimes, by the way, source even some of the equipment locally. Sometimes
they purchase it. They purchase them.
They hire.
They hire.
Yes. Okay. Locally, this equipment locally. Sometimes from our companies.
Okay.
But you see, as we are subcontracted, again there is squeezing.
Even in the subcontract.
Even in the subcontracting. So maybe government needs to look into all this and see where and how to really support. Yeah.
Absolutely interesting. The discussion here is on the public-private partnerships, of course, looking at how the government really comes in to support the private sector to make sure that they can actually, create that conducive atmosphere for them to operate efficiently. Remember, once the private sector stabilizes, the gross domestic product of the country definitely is on to quite some other level, rather. But also, the private sector, the body that is responsible to represent all the private players, of course, also needs, according to the stakeholder, needs to really, they are trying their best, of course, though they could pull up and they need some support to make their work much more efficient. It's 5 minutes to the top of the hour. We come to the end of Smart Mains Business this morning. Of course, don't forget channel 372 on DSTV, channel 320 on GOTV, and on free-to-air. We're also there. And also go to your Play Store, download the Smart Digital application. You'll be able to stream us at any part of the country you will be at Smart24 TV, that's on Twitter, Smart24 TV Official, that's on Facebook, and Smart24 TV Live on YouTube. You are still in position to stream us at any part of the world that you will be at. I've been Andrew Barije, and of course, finally, I've been joined with
Matthew
Kasuja. Perfect. Yeah, Matthew Kasuja is the CEO for
KASTHEW
construction companies and the stakeholder, of course, into the private sector, giving us this breakdown of how government should intervene in there. Of course, till tomorrow, a very good morning.